Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Rosie and today I'm going to be filming the One Dip makeup challenge. I've seen a few people do this video recently and it looks like quite a fun challenge, so I thought why not try it myself. So basically I'm going to do my usual everyday makeup routine, but the point of this challenge is that I can only dip my makeup brush into each product once. I have already applied my moisturiser, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this little unicorn headband on just to keep the hair out of my face. Okay, perfect, that'll do. So like I said, I have already applied my moisturiser. I don't usually then wear a primer, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna wear one. This is in a pump form, so I'm just gonna squeeze one pump onto my hand, and that is it. So let's see how much of this I can get out in one pump. It looks like a decent amount, so let's just apply it to my face. I'm trying to do it quite evenly. In fact, I think I've probably got quite a lot. There is also a mirror just behind my camera, so I do apologise if I keep looking into that instead. I feel like that one pump may have been a bit too much because my hands feel a little bit greasy and it feels like there's still a lot on my face, but whatever, I think that is the best I'm gonna get for that. I should have also probably said that this is the e.l.f. mineral infused face primer, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so next up is foundation, and the one that I use is the Smashbox Studio Skin, which is in a glass bottle with a pump. Now, as this is the one dip makeup challenge, I can't dip this, so what I'm gonna do, just like the primer, is I'm gonna put one pump onto the back of my hand and hope that that's gonna be enough. To be honest, this is the one thing that I was concerned about because I don't feel like I'm gonna get enough coverage from just one pump. I usually use like 2 to 3 plus sometimes, so I'm interested to see how this is going to work, but we're just going to try it. So this is my foundation, and just for reference I use this in the shade 2.1. I have also wiped the primer off of my hand. I'm trying to get every last little bit out. I'm going to apply it with a damp beauty blender, and I think the best way I'm going to get coverage is by dabbing a little bit on to different parts of my face before blending. I'm really not sure that this one pump is going to be enough. Just trying to use a little bit in each area so that I've at least got some. This is so not going to be enough. Like, I've literally taken the whole thing off my hand. Oh no. Okay, let's just try and blend. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I've used this foundation for years. But as much as I love it, and it is full coverage, I find that I do need to use a few pumps, and I don't think this is really covering that well with just one pump. I think once I've applied my concealer, it should blend a bit better and hopefully the coverage will be better. But just from that one pump of foundation on its own, it's not really enough for me. I definitely like full coverage foundation, so I feel like there's bits like here where it just hasn't covered because there wasn't enough product. I think that is probably the best I'm going to get with this foundation, so I'm going to move on to concealer. So for concealer, I use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and I am actually able to do the whole one dip thing with this, which is good. Try and get as much on as I can. Okay, there seems to be a decent amount on there, but that's my one dip, so let's go. I'm trying to sort of do it evenly both sides so that I have at least enough product to make it even. I feel like I'm having to double up this concealer as a foundation as well, just to cover up the bits that I don't think the foundation covered to begin with. So that is pretty much most of the concealer off of that brush now. I feel like I could potentially get maybe a little bit more, but I'm just going to blend it and see if I need any more from the brush. I feel like I've got quite a lot out on that one dip, which is good. I feel like the concealer has helped with the whole lack of foundation in certain areas of my face, and it looks a little bit more even, which is always good. I feel like the concealer did quite well actually with just one dip, so now I'm going to move on to powder. For powder, I use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I'm going to turn it upside down and shake as much product as I can into the lid area so that I will actually have enough to be able to work with. Let's see if this worked. Okay, good. I feel like I've got quite a lot to work with in the lid, but it's also quite expensive and I don't want to waste any of this. But for this challenge I can only dip this makeup brush once, so I feel like I'm going to have to pick up quite a lot of powder. So here we go. That's quite a lot. You know what, I think I'm even going to tap a bit of excess off because that is a lot. I don't want to tap too much off, but also I feel like I picked up maybe a bit too much. I don't want to be left with nothing, but I also don't want to waste this. Okay, I think I'm going to just go with that. If I just put it all over, then at least everywhere has been covered. I feel like I did alright with that, although I picked up way too much powder to begin with. I tapped off most of the excess, and what I was left with was the ideal amount, so I feel like that bit was actually quite easy. So now I'm going to move on to bronzer. I use the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and it's actually almost all gone. I use this not only for bronzer, but I also use it for eyeshadow, which is what I'm going to do in this video. I feel like I'm going to have to take a decent amount. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing too much, but let's just try. That looks like a lot on there. I don't know if this is going to be too much. Oh, God. That actually turned out quite well. I thought there was going to be way more than there was on the brush, but I think I got just the right amount and it looks quite natural. I'm quite happy with that, so now I'm going to move on to blush. So for blush, I'm going to use this one, which is from NARS. This is in the shade Orgasm, and I'm just going to apply a bit to my brush. I'm not sure how much I'm going to actually need of this, but let's just go for it. Is that a bit much? I feel like I've tapped off the excess and everything else. I might as well. Why not? I think I put on just the right amount of blush because I don't like going over the top. I wasn't sure if I'd put a bit too much on the brush at first, but actually I think we've done alright. I think the blush looks quite nice and natural, so I'm going to leave it at that, and next I'm going to do my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Soft Brown. Now this is where I think things might start to go a little bit wrong, because I don't even really recall how much I use when I apply this. I don't even really think about how many times I dip the brush into this, so I don't know if this is going to be enough, if it's going to be too much, but I'm just going to go for it. So one dip. I'm probably going to put more on than I normally would. Oh my god, I've like pushed it right in there. Oh god. Oh no, I think this is going to go so wrong. Okay, let's just brush my brows up first. Oh no. I feel like I've probably put on a little bit too much on this brush. That, or it's just like sunk right down to the bottom and didn't actually pick anything up. To keep my eyebrows as even as possible, I'm going to apply a bit to one and then a bit to the other, and hope that I have enough product for both to make them look as natural as possible. I'm going to use this little mirror to look close up. I'm not sure how this is going to look. I think they're going to look a little bit too dark, but we'll just keep going and just see what happens. Oh, my camera battery's flashing. Let me just change that quickly. Sorry about that. My camera battery died literally just as I was in the middle of my eyebrows, which is never a good time. So I'm going to continue. I haven't added any more, don't worry. I don't even know where I was. Carry on with this one. They're actually not looking too bad considering. I think I maybe just about got the right amount on the brush. I think I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to overdo it. What I would usually do next is go around the outline with some concealer. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that as part of this challenge, but I'm just going to do it. So I'm going to go in with my concealer. Obviously this is one dip, but I'm definitely not going to use this much. So I'm going to use this brush and dip it onto this one once, and then just use this and see what I can do with it. Okay, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to go around the outline as I normally would. I may have a bit too much. I think I'm now done with my eyebrows, and that actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do next is apply my bronzer as eyeshadow. If you've seen my everyday makeup routine video, you'll know that I actually tend to use this bronzer as eyeshadow most of the time because it's just a lot easier and it still gives a really nice colour. So I'm going to try and pick up enough to really do both eyes. Is that enough? Is that too much? Let's try. I find this just a really quick and easy way to add a bit of colour to your eyes without having to spend too much time. I do own quite a few eyeshadow palettes, but this is just my quick and easy way to add a bit of definition to your eye without having to go too crazy. So as you can see, it is just a really super easy and quick like little makeup hack as to how I do eyeshadow when I don't really want to do eyeshadow. And as you can see, it literally takes a few seconds. And with the one dip as well, I actually picked up quite a lot of product, which is more than I thought it was going to, because usually I do go in a couple of times, but then again I did also pick up probably a little bit more on the brush at first than I normally would, but it worked, so that is fab. So now I'm going to do my mascara. I don't know if this is like part of the one dip challenge, but I'm just going to curl each lash once, like hold it down. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do this as part of the challenge, but I'm going to do it. To be fair, usually I would like release and push down on this a few times on each lash, but I'm only going to do it once to keep with the theme. I'm going to use the Illamasqua mascara in the shade Raven. As I've been using this a lot recently, I'm not sure if it's coming to the end, so hopefully there'll be at least enough for this video, but let's just give it a go. There's my one dip. I think we're going to be okay. Because I use this mascara so often, I thought it was coming to the end, and I was a bit worried that I wasn't going to get enough in one dip to be able to do both lashes, but actually there's more than I thought, so that's good. This brush is starting to feel a little bit dry, so I think it is actually coming to the end, but there is just enough for this look, thankfully. That's probably the best I'm going to get with this mascara with just one dip. It is also coming to the end, so it has started to go a little bit dry and clumpy. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to move on to highlight. So for highlight, I'm going to use the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. And usually with this, when I apply it, I put obviously a bit on my cheeks, and then I use my little finger to go just on my brow bone. But obviously I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to try and do it all with just one dip. It would help if I tried to open it the right way, wouldn't it? That would be a great start. As you can see, I use this one a lot, so I'm going to do one dip with my brush. I feel like I've tapped off the excess on everything, so I might as well carry on that little trend. I don't think I've picked up enough. Not even nearly enough to make an actual noticeable difference, but okay, it's what we're working with, it's fine. Doesn't look bad, it just doesn't look like there's enough to really notice a difference, and especially for this bit on my brow bone, this brush is way too big, which is why I usually use my little finger, which works perfectly for me. I mean, you can't really tell that much, but that was my one dip, so that is what it's gonna have to look like. I'm gonna finish the look with my lips, and I would usually wear a matte lipstick, but because you can't really dip into that, I'm gonna use a liquid lipstick instead. I always put a bit of Carmex on first, so let's just squeeze a little bit out. That's my one dip. So for lipstick, I'm going to use the Kylie Cosmetics matte liquid lipstick in the shade Cocoa K, and let's just hope it goes well. I don't know how well you can see that, but I'm not sure if I've got a little bit too much product, but we're just going to go with it. Can you see how dry that looks? I love the colour of this, but it is so drying that I don't tend to wear it on its own usually because of that. So I think I got enough product out from that in just one dip, but it was quite a lot as well. So when I first applied it, I turned it upside down and then just gradually added a bit more product because it is very drying. I am also going to go in with this concealer brush. I'm not going to add any more concealer to it. I'm just going to tidy up the edges as I normally would. I suppose it doesn't look too bad, it just feels a bit drying on my lips. In terms of the colour and everything, I really like it, and obviously I use the lip liner a lot. But yeah, I managed to get quite a lot of product with just that one dip, and I was able to finish the look. So yeah, I'm quite happy with the overall result. So just to complete the look and seal it all together, I'm going to just use one spray of the Makeup Revolution Pro Fixing Spray. Now, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't always spray perfectly the first time. It doesn't always spray perfectly the first time. Sometimes it takes like 2 or 3 pumps to actually get anything out, so apparently it's working. I'm just going to use one spray of this. I feel like I held that way too far back. Like I've got a bit of it. I feel like it's gone down the centre, but I don't think it really got the sides of my face, but whatever. I was only allowed one pump, so that is what we're going to get. But yeah, that is the final step in this makeup routine. So I'm going to take off this headband and show you what it looks like all together. As much as I love that headband, it does make my hair even flatter when I take it out, so let's just ignore that. This is the final look from the one dip makeup challenge. I'm actually really surprised with how it turned out. I wasn't sure that it was going to work completely, especially with the foundation. Like I wasn't sure that there was going to be enough in just one pump, but I'm really glad that I did did this challenge and that it turned out as well as it did. And also leave a comment down below and let me know if you've ever tried this one dip makeup challenge. I thought it was super fun and I'd definitely recommend trying it if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all in my next video.